everyone, welcome back to Reissued. If you're new here, my name is Andrew. You may remember that many moons ago I made a video on my half bathroom. It was sort of like a part one of that makeover where I put the faux crocodile vinyl on the wall. I had intended to follow up with that video more or less right away and complete the bathroom, but things got a little bit off track when I decided to open up the doorway into my pantry and close off one of the doors to the half bathroom. So the half bathroom originally had two doors on either side, so it just passed directly from my kitchen into my living room. And that was kind of awkward. I was okay with it at first because I like the way that in old homes sort of all the rooms connect and there's kind of a flow. But after opening up that doorway through the pantry, it just didn't make sense to keep this open. I think that closing that off will just create a little bit more privacy in the bathroom and sort of eliminate the awkwardness of walking through a bathroom to get from the kitchen to the living room. So long story short, that whole process slowed it down a little bit, but we're finally back here to finish this bathroom. We have just a couple more projects to wrap up. The featured project, if you will, for this video is going to be some leather hardware that I'm going to make to go on a piece that I thrifted. And I got the leather off of an old sofa for free. I'm going to put some little rivets in there, make it kind of cool, and just add a little bit of like edge to this kind of boho piece. We also installed the mirror that you see behind me as a way to sort of fill in the doorway. Lots of exciting things happening in this video. Let's jump on in. Since part one of this bathroom makeover, there were a few big progress points. The tiling of the floor, the installation of the toilet, and more recently, the removal of this door. We removed the moldings around the door to use for the new pantry doorway, and added 2x4 framing and drywall to the living room side to make the wall official. We didn't spend a lot of time mudding and smoothing things out on this side, since the entire wall will be covered with built-in bookcases that have backs on them. So you'll never see the wall anyway. For the bathroom side of the wall, we thought, why not take advantage of the existing opening and install a large mirror that will be recessed into the wall? The mirror came from my parents' garage, where it's been sitting for ages since they removed it after it broke. To create the right dimensions and remove the broken part, we tried our hand at glass cutting, measuring, scoring, and gently snapping. Are we pressing down with this? Yep. Okay. Ready? Yep. 3, 2, 1, push.
Came off a little bit on the corner, but other than that, it was straight.
Yep. The cut wasn't perfect, but the frame will cover that. A little sanding to soften the cut edge, and it's ready to go. My dad framed out the wall perfectly to house the mirror. Let's install it temporarily. We ended up putting some insulation behind off camera to provide a little soundproofing. To install the mirror permanently and create a nice finish, we constructed a frame out of old 1x4s that were mitered to create a seamless connection. With the frame nailed together, I hit it with the dark stain to create a rich, deep color. I wanted to use more shades of brown in the room to offer some depth and variation to the brown faux croc wallpaper. Don't forget to do the backside edge as well, since it will be visible in the mirrored reflection. Once it was dry, we held it in place over the mirror and nailed it sideways into the framing. This holds the frame in place while holding the mirror in at the same time. And now that the frame was installed and we had a clean edge, my dad could install the surrounding drywall and tape and mud to create a smooth wall. Looks good, right? On to the cabinet piece that I thrifted last year at the REISSUED store for $45. So this is the piece that we're going to be modifying to go in the corner. There is some damage here along some of the little like rattan details. It's also missing one of these handles on the bottom. We are gonna cut off the whole bottom drawer on this so that it can sit above the baseboard and float and attach to the wall. So I'm not super worried about the handle missing, except that I am gonna go ahead and remove the handle since it's not really the look that I'm going for. The general feeling for this cabinet is kind of boho, and that's not so much my vibe. I like the kind of bamboo look, so we're gonna keep that, but I'm gonna make some leather strap handles that are gonna go instead of those rattan handles and are gonna cover up all of that sort of like woven detail. I think I'm gonna leave that in place for strength and kind of repair it or remove it where necessary. Where it's damaged, but in general, I'm just trying to kind of cover that up and streamline it and give it a little bit of like an edgier look with the leather. So now that I've removed all the drawers, you can kind of see the structure of how this is on the inside. We're gonna make a cut right here at the bottom level and make it flush all the way around. And so that way it can sit on top of the baseboard and go up against the wall. I think I'm probably gonna go in with some tape and just sort of tape out a nice clean line along there, and then go in with my hand saw because you know I like to do things manually. I'm not much of a power tool person when it comes to that. I'd rather be really in control and take my time, and we'll give this a go. I measure from the top to tape off a line that will be my cutting guide. I take my time getting the cut started, brushing my saw in one direction to score my initial line. Once the groove starts to form, I can saw back and forth to move things along. I start in a couple different areas to ensure accuracy before connecting all my cuts and detaching the bottom entirely. I managed to get a pretty clean cut, so I won't have to touch up the black finish at all. On to the handles. I source this leather at my local habitat-free Vanity store where I work a couple days a week. Occasionally people will drop off items with major condition issues that we know we can't sell in the store. So when this leather sofa got marked for the dumpster due to the large holes on the seats, I asked if I could remove the good areas of the leather before it got dumped. This panel came off the back of the sofa. This leather is much thicker than most of the apparel type leathers that I've worked with in the past, so I won't have to worry about doubling up or turning under anything this time. I start by cutting some 1-inch strips with my rotary cutter, ruler, and mat. So I was planning to leave the kind of woven areas in place just to leave the extra strength and to not have to worry about it. But after seeing the leather on there, I think it would look better. I first thought about painting it, but I think now I'm just gonna remove it entirely. You just see that light color peeking out from behind, and I think that it looks a little bit messy. So I think that taking it out entirely is just gonna clean it up and make the leather really like stand out. So we cut the 1-inch strips, and then I wanted to put in one of the rivets on a test, and so I did it on the scrap piece that we cut out before. And we were thinking that the size of the rivets looked really good on that thinner strap, and that it might be kind of weird to have it go on the wider strap. But then we looked at stacking up the two, having the 1-inch go behind and go flat against the whole piece so it can be really taut, and then have the smaller one come out to make the handle. I'm really excited. I wasn't thinking this was gonna be the plan, but it looks really good. Happy surprise. With the new plan in place, I cut some clean 1/2-inch strips to use for the upper layer. With all my strips cut, it was time to measure for my rivets.
I played around with taping the leather on to see what looked best. I decided that 5 inches between the center rivets looks nice, and a 1/2 inch difference between the front strip and the back strip seemed to create a nice handle shape. In retrospect, I think I could have done a 3/4 inch difference to make the handle jut out a bit more, but it turned out okay. I measured from the center and placed the first rivet on one side, then measure across to the other side, leaving the extra 1/2 inch on the front strip for the handle, and place the other rivet. I had these rivets on hand from my seatbelt harnesses video that I made a million years ago. This was a cheap set that I ordered on Amazon. I've gotten a bit better at using the included installation tools since that video, but I still made a few mistakes and had to pull a couple out and redo them. Now I break out the leather glue to glue the 2 layers together from the inside rivets all the way out to the edges. I don't want these to gap apart, so the glue is a quick and easy way to make sure they stay put. I'm placing them across the curve of the drawer as they dry to give them the right shape. If I laid them flat to dry, they would be unable to sit smoothly across the curved surface when I attach them later.
So I put it in with the drawer, just sitting here just to kind of get a look. I had originally intended to put rivets on the outside. I tried the same size rivet and also the smaller rivets. And I just feel like it takes away from the look on the inside. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go with no rivets on the outside just to make it super clean. Of course, this is gonna stop right here. It's just sitting there for now. But what do we think? Extra rivets or no extra rivets?
While I focused on the cabinet piece, my dad was hard at work priming and painting the bathroom wall. He also cut the countertop piece for the cabinet out of a bit of leftover solid surface counter that I got for $100 at the REISSUED store. This is the stuff that went in my new bathroom and will be on my kitchen island.
What do you think?
I think it looks great. Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be putting the finishing touches on the half bath makeover. We're going to be mounting the cabinet to the wall, putting up trim, caulking, touching up paint, that sort of thing. For the leather strap handles, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the smaller rivet on the outside or go with no rivet at all. So I put a poll over on Instagram like I often do. And most people thought that the smaller rivets on the outside looked good. So we're going to add those today. And I'm going to be gluing those onto the fronts. And we should be wrapping this up. It's really exciting.
Looking back on this project now, I think that adding the smaller rivets on the outside was a great choice. It creates a sense of balance and really finishes off the edges in a way that feels purposeful and complete. Sometimes you just need an outside eye, or many eyes in my case, to get perspective on a project. It can be tough to see things with fresh eyes when you've been staring at them for so long, or have preconceived notions about how things should be that don't necessarily align with the reality of how they actually look. So thanks for weighing in. To affix the handles, I'm using an E6000 industrial grade adhesive. I start by centering the handle and working toward the outside, cutting the edges to length and pushing them under in a little groove along the outsides. Once I get them placed, my mom helped me tape across to hold them until they dry. Painter's tape and helping hands to the rescue again. And now for the little details that make a big impact. A little tinted paste wax on the mirror frame to give it a smooth finish and a bit more depth and color. And lots of moldings. These longer pieces were harvested from other areas of the house where we removed them to install built-ins. Never throw these away. Before we install the cabinet, I cut off the extra fabric that used to go behind the door molding. We don't need that anymore. Look how nicely this fits in the corner now that it clears the massive baseboard. After much leveling and adjusting, we screw it into the studs to hold it in place. And after peeling the protective plastic and sanding away a few smudges, I can affix the countertop with a construction adhesive. My My dad completes the picture by installing a new corner molding to match the other corner and caulking all the cracks. With some final touches, this room is done.
All right, everybody, we made it. The bathroom behind me is more or less done. I cannot wait to open the door and show you how it turned out. I say more or less because, of course, there's a few lingering projects that need to be finished. The inside of the door needs to be stained. I'm gonna try to find a cool vintage hook to act as a towel hook in there. I could have just put up something basic, but why go for basic when you can hold out for something cool and unique? So I'm hoping that I'll find something soon. I'm thinking maybe like a mermaid, or maybe kind of sticking with the celestial theme and doing like a moon or a sun or something like that. Just something that has some character, that adds a little bit more interest, because you know we love that. I'm super happy with how the leather hardware turned out. I think if I were to do it over again, I might have left a little bit more space to be able to get your fingers in and pull. But as it is now, I think it looks fantastic, and I'm learning every time. This is how we learn, this is how we grow. There are so many cool DIY projects in this space: the stained glass window, the faux leather wall, the little tarot card art that I made. I have all those documented in their own videos. If you enjoy those projects, go ahead and check those videos out as well. It's so exciting to look around the finished room and see so many elements that I made. If you end up using any of these project ideas in your spaces, please let me know, drop it down in the comments. I'm here to help you in any way that I can. If you like this video and how this bathroom turned out, please hit the like button. That helps my channel grow and helps more people see my videos. And of course, if you want to keep following along with my home renovation, hit the subscribe button. More to come soon. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.